Hey there, everybody. Lamont here from JKS, checking in on the solar sector. Okie dokie. So, solar sector 10, I guess. Talk about this. So, um, trade played out well so far. It gave all three fills plenty of opportunity to take profit and protect. If this, could potentially be the weekly higher low, which we are just still waiting to potentially be set over 47.98. So, still waiting to see if the Bulls can pull it off, and in order for them to do so, they'll need to change the daily trend. It was a high volume day, so not a bad start, but there's still quite a lot of work to do. Hourly trend, actually, no, the hourly trend has not changed yet. So, what the Bulls will want to do tomorrow is show up and ideally to defend this low of 67.25 and break this high of 50 to change the trend and have Bulls confident in that daily low being set, and then have Bears scouting a potential high under 71.35. So that being said, should probably discuss the caveats of this trade. This trade actually played out in pre-market. So at the low, when price RSI closes, prints on the close. So when RSI when the price was all the way down here, PM, that is when that is where RSI was oversold. And so that's actually when the trade activated. So if you were in after that, actually when it was down here, it was probably, let me check. Yeah, it did not get oversold again. Hourly RSI did not get oversold. So although this may have played out in regular trading hours as such, I would have been much more hesitant to take on this play if I didn't capture it in pre-market. Even if it played out, I wouldn't. There's two ways you can handle a situation like that. You decided to be careful and you missed the opportunity, or oh, I made the wrong choice and I suck, or and I just always prefer to say, okay, well, it's all good. You missed an opportunity, but you didn't lose anything. So anyway, just a little caveat: if I didn't capture that, I'm not sure I would have made that play regular trading hours. But the Bulls will take it, and this shelf of support highlighted now. We're a little bit more confident now, whereas before we weren't quite sure. There was this basing that was kind of developing here, but then we didn't really have a lot of price action here to suggest any significance there. So while it was nice that the Bulls were able to show up and play defense there for a while, defending the top of this range, now this is really the key range. If they can't put volume in here, then we'll probably head down and visit 7. Not like a straight shot necessarily, but the idea is there's a lot of air down here. So this is pretty much the last line of the sand. There's a whole bunch of air. These 3 days where they just gapped up. If the Bulls lose this support, there theoretically should not be much resistance. Support. Okay. So ORA, again, the trade was kind of negated. You wanted to adjust, or I wanted to adjust for 5 minute when trying to grab that channel support play. So the oversold conditions never came until the middle of the day. So this trade was negated by the open, and it's why I'm always, I try to be as clear as possible with that. The setups, they will always change on the open, and just make sure that your conditions are met. Define your trade conditions right now? What are they for most of these trade setups? To keep it as simple as possible, I'm just going to use RSI extension on a key time frame to suggest trend exhaustion, and price action supports, and maybe some like anyway, so that trade was negated, but this channel has now essentially come back into play, right? These levels of support once again came back into play, right? So we're mindful of this level here because previous price congestion, right? It's a contentious level. Bulls tried to hold it, failed, and now they're trying to do so again after a nice big sharp move up. So ORA, I don't know, I'm thinking about taking it out of the rotation because the bid and the ask spread today 1.5%, and this was pretty close to the open, but I don't know, that was not cool because I was thinking about taking that play, but obviously it didn't present itself, and so I was just watching it, and man, that was a massive, massive spread for. Anyway, so let's see. Hourly was flirting. Well, Hourly did get oversold towards the end of the day as we came down to test this channel support. And so we saw a little bit of bounce going to the end of the day, but the bulls did not change the 5-minute trend, so we're not even confident in that hourly low being set yet. I think I'm going to take ORA out of the rotation for now, and I'm just going to keep an eye on, check out that spread, and if that was just a fluke or if that was how it trades at the open, then okay, but I'm going to boot it for now. I'll just leave it there if it exciting things jump back on it. I'm still interested in it because of its macro chart. All right, so JKS again falling into this shelf of support that we have previously made up. I believe this trade was, oh, I remember. So this trade, if when I was setting it up, saying, okay, well, yes, this is a lot of space for a potential higher low. However, what I care most about when ranging is the range, right? So because we were still going sideways, I was potential hourly higher low play, but set it up anyway. Gave out that disclaimer. So ideally, morning again, you'll notice that the trade setup was not there. Let's see. Yeah, so you didn't get oversold. Fell through the zone without ever getting 5-minute oversold. So this was not. They were not good. It was not good trade setup. Ideally, if you're following along, then you notice that the 5-minute conditions were not met, and so you didn't get hurt on this. I hope, but see what was more important. What turned out to be the range again, right? So the initial bounce comes up, presents itself right off that shelf again, right? And this shelf is just marked off from these previous bottoms, but also if we look to the left, it's just where there was a little bit of pause, right? A little bit of pause, some congestion, then a breakout, a back test, held it as support, and that was the long had for this last big leg up. So not surprising then that the Bulls are playing defense here, just not getting much offense. They are some downside into the day and extended hours. Key support going into tomorrow is 55.82. Ideally, they'll defend this base again and then push up to challenge the range of it, which right now is the 64 level or problematic. That highest hourly close zone of resistance. So as long as we can get hourly oversold in the support and overbought in the resistance, there will be plays to had. So play the range until it's not the range anymore. Run. So run, balance off of these levels, but if there was no hourly oversold conditions, then that trade played out. Okay, so again, it played out in after hours. So if you took that trade right then and there, if you were playing in after hours, which a little bit unrealistic, I don't know, trading at the solar sector at 7 p.m., but would have gotten that one fill, and then obviously it ran way past the target. So now let's see. The Bulls showed up with a nice bounce off of off of these levels that we've marked off in the past, again, just by looking left, right? Those levels are marked off by based on daily closes. So this was one of the lowest daily close before this big leg up. So I thought it would be meaningful. I see that there are multiple tops at this here, and it's 48.14 level. That was the highest close in this congestion area, so I thought that was meaningful. And then I just picked this level because it was the last higher low before this leg up, right? So just dropping a few lines for some to create a membrane of support, right? Because if there were such meaningful pivots there, then I imagine that they could make for another meaningful pivot in the future, right? It's as simple as that. So that's what I mean too when I say price action is king. I don't necessarily mean like just only the recent price action. The price action in general is king. That's the only real truth in the market. Except also that statement is also true in the market. All right, so if we could get hourly oversold into these supports, that is my favorite play, and you can see again this happened to play out in after hours. So gave another opportunity at the beginning of the day, but the conditions weren't met except in after hours. Actually, yeah. Okay, so a lot of after hours plays to be had. Maybe I should. Anyway, oh sorry. Let's see. Let's So bullish up to blade defense. They did not change actually they did change the hourly trend. So based on the pre-market action, but ideally they'll do so during regular trading hours. So ideally the bulls will show up tomorrow, defend 52.97 and break to a higher high over 51 to change this hourly trend and see some daily bounce follow through. Bears will probably be looking to top fish, like say I bet you this level would get good reaction. We had this little bear flag reacted there, and this was a previous top, multiple lows defended. You get hourly extended into 58.47. I bet you get a nice little round there. Super rough. Don't even know hourly would be there. Like, check. Let's. Yeah. Not bad. It's just loose. Members, if you want some details on that, let me know. Oh man, how unfortunate is that? It was. So let's see. Oh, but okay, so this was another situation where this played out in after hours because this was drawn when this price action was what we saw. So we were looking for hourly oversold conditions. The first one here, or here, and then if we were to, you would have got one fill and then way more than enough bounce to chop it up. And then you can protect your position by either putting the stop for the rest of your position under this low, or you can stick to this stop. Either way, plenty of opportunity to protect your trade. So can't do any better than that in the market. In fact, you actually got another opportunity at the open. It was oversold again. You actually had RSI divergence. Right? RSI made a higher low, but price made a lower low. So I would say if you woke up this morning and you saw that this already played out in PM, all you got to do is just drag this long box down, right? So if you draw these things out with me, drag it down to where your RSI would be extended again, right? And you can give it a little bit of wiggle room and then just drag this thing down, and that's pretty practically your new trade, right? Because the conditions are, well, of course you should look back and make sure that there's some price action levels here to play off of, and there are, right? Here's one of the lowest close. There's a high. Maybe we draw our new zone based off of that, right? Take a perfect. But yeah, obviously it's easier in hindsight, but that's the application, right? If there's a setup and then you see that the open affects it, well, what condition is affected? In this case, RSI. Just adjust for RSI. Look to your left. Are price action support also still supported? I mean, thesis still supported? Then bingo bango, trade's still on. Right, plug. Okay, so plug, I was looking for a potential short closer to this top here, which obviously did not play out, but what we did get was a nice back test of the channel to offer a potential short. So when this lower high got printed and then broke to a lower low. That was the hourly trend change, which had us confident that this daily high was set. We could not know that bulls would step in a big way to defend. But even if they did, there was a nice potential short, right? Because this was enough range that one might anticipate an hourly lower high, and if 5 minute time frame was overbought, which it was, heading up to test that potential resistance, and we know that there were pivots here as well, right? Lows and top there got put in, top, bottoms, congestion flag, all. Right, so not a bad level to be shorting off of. In 5 minute overbought, right? So when you know you're looking for an hourly lower high, 5 minute overbought conditions are a good time to do that. And again, channel resistance, price action. It can be as simple as that. No need for Elliott waves or TD. Not that I don't love those things, I do, but keep it really simple and just fine. Great, even the best. I don't know. I believe in you. Okay, let's see. So now looking at plug. Hourly trend is bearish, hourly EQ into the end of the day. Key support here is 1612. If bears are able to take 1612, they resume the bear trend, and we will continue to scout a daily higher low. Anything over 1369 will be so. There's the potential that the bears change the trend, and then bulls can still save it by taking the trend back and holding 1525 support. So kind of up in the air with plug right now. Wonder if Doug complaining. Go out. Alrighty. So I don't hate it. Something like this. Those here that got put in. If you can get 5 minute extension down here, potentially looking like to bottom fish this EQ if you are bullish. I mean, it was a pretty good bounce. So the market was strong all day. So that's something to consider. I don't know. Questionable to me. I don't love that it's like in the middle of this range, right? Between this 833 close and I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love short-term play here. It would be pretty aggressive in my opinion, trying to bottom fish like this close of this potential EQ. But you manage the risk and a bad play, I suppose. Might be one of those things that shake out after hours as that. All right, so this play would really just be set up for a potential hourly EQ to keep tightening. Right, so maybe to come down here, test it, get some basing. I wouldn't be surprised if really healthy. Yeah. Had to pick a direction, I'd pick bullish. All right, I think that about sums it up. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.